What is up, everyone? Welcome. Have a very special live stream here tonight. Um, yeah, this is breaking news. Bit of breaking news here. Now, this is something that I had no clue about. Somebody randomly on Twitter had commented on one of the old tweets that I had, and it was Aura that brought it to my attention. It was in regards to PvP, as you all know, People versus Preds, somebody that we've talked about here on the channel before. And for those of you that don't know who that is, I'll go over his channel here. Actually, let me bring his channel up before we get into details here, so that I can give you a bit of a backstory behind People versus Preds. What's up, Devin? How you doing? Because it appears that People versus Preds has not only been exposed. Of course, I'm not going to say, the person's name or anything like that. He's apparently been doxxed. He's been exposed. But this is a result, apparently, of him also being sued by one of the people that that was one of his catches, right? So what I did was I went over the legal filing, and what I did was I redacted his name, even though it is a public filing, and I would be well within my right to show, all the information, because it would not really be considered doxing because it's part of a public filing. But just in fairness to this guy, even though I have my criticisms of him and I don't agree with the way he goes about his business online in regards to how he approaches his craft, I guess you could say. I'm not for, people dogpiling on him either and, harassing him or potentially harassing his family or anything like that. So I have redacted the legal documents showing his name. Now, the guy that filed the documentation, I also went ahead and redacted his information as well, just to be on the safe side, except for the first letter of his name and stuff, just so that you can see that there is a name there, because I don't want this guy to be harassed either. So you'll see that the document looks kind of funny, but it is public record for anybody that wants to find it. You'll be able to see the case number and all that stuff. So if you want to go look it up yourselves and go ahead and see all the information for yourselves, you can go ahead and do so. I would encourage it if it's something that you want to look into. It's not very hard to find. There are means. So just putting that out there. But before we get into any of that, we'll go, for those of you that don't know who People versus Preds is, like I said, we're going to go, Steve, what's up? What's up, buddy?
Hey, what's going on? This was like I wouldn't call him a white whale, but we were looking into this guy for a while. And then,
yes, we were.
We were.
This is interesting.
Family. I got busy with my new job, and we kind of fell off.
We lost momentum on it because we had other things happen, but it's okay. Devin, thank you for the 10. Let's go. Yes, here we go. Steve, I sent you the legal filing so you could back me up that it is 100% legit. I sent you the unredacted one. So, but even though, like I said, it's a legal filing, I'd be well within my rights to show the names. I went ahead and redacted it.
The guy who's doxed 146 people and apparently drove someone to death.
I want you to fill me in on that, because I did not know about that either.
I didn't know that either.
That's something that I just found out today, and I maybe you can find, we can elaborate a little bit more on that. But I had no clue. I had no clue about that. That's like news to me. I was like, oh my gosh, he drove somebody to to off themselves. So that's crazy, man. It's just like, it's like the Chris Hansen thing, right? It reminds me of Chris South Park. Chris Hansen.
No, it's literally, that's a Chris Hansen thing, but the difference is I don't think Chris Hansen would have just been laughing and filming it the whole time. And it was also being, you know how he does his live streams, it's being live streamed to YouTube. So
Yeah,
there,
to a
if
bunch of
this
people.
is like legit, then YouTube had someone off themselves on a live stream in fucking 20, it could have been 2021, but 2021 or 2022. That's insane. That's
Well,
fucking insane.
did he off himself in the video?
Apparently.
Really?
So yeah. And that's why the
Wow.
video's down.
Well, 46, which is this guy, the guy who is suing him was number 46. And I was looking through our notes from when we were going over all this guy's videos, and 46 was not on his channel. We never went over 46. We went over 45, and we went over 47, and we went over 44. But we never went over 46 because it wasn't there, and this could be why. This could be the reason why.
The guy in the lawsuit is his name's different than what these people are saying was number 46. You're sure this guy was number 46?
Well, I believe he was number 46. Well, so the guy who is, he could be one of the other numbers, because remember, there's several other ones that are missing off of that channel. There's gaps in between some of his videos. So maybe, because I'm looking at our notes, and I don't see anybody for 46. So he could have been 46, or maybe he was somebody else, because there's a lot of well, let's go through his channel history right now. So here's all the videos that he's posted. So
I'm surprised he's still on the channel. Mudahara's done a video on him. Like I'm sure YouTube knows about him, but they're just like, keep he's fine.
So yeah, we see here he's got number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then 6 is missing. We got 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. We got 20 is missing. 20, well, 20 is right here. 21 looks like it's missing though, because some of these are out of order. So I guess he because remember, he re-uploaded some of the previous ones. You got 24, 25, 26, 27. Julius, this guy was great. Remember, we saw Julius, the guy who isn't taking it.
Oh, I do remember Julius. Yeah.
Julius, right? Julius was just like, you ain't got
you
nothing.
Want to come sit down in my like living room area on my front porch, and then ended up telling him off basically on the street.
Yeah, it was crazy, bro. Yeah, Julius was the one that fought back. He's the one that fought back. You got number 30, number 23 here, 34. Like I said, some of these are out of order because he had, I guess he re-uploaded them after the fact, but he is missing some. There are a few that are missing, they're just not there. So I'm guessing this guy's one of the lost numbers. I guess we'll call him the lost numbers, because you see 46 is missing. And somebody was saying that the guy from the lawsuit is number 46. I don't know if he is or isn't, but there's a lot of gaps, like I said, some of them are just out of order, but there is some that are just not there at all. And then he has these.
If that is like, if that's someone representing the dead dude, then that's all going to come through in the lawsuit. If it is number 46.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. But see, the guy, like I said, I won't say the guy who's filing the lawsuit either, because I don't want to, put his information out there, because I'm pretty sure that's what got his video taken down. He probably filed I would assume he filed a privacy complaint before a suit, or maybe because of him filing a suit is what brought the video that he was in down. Because I'm looking through, while we're scanning through this here, I'm also looking for the guy's name, because I know the guy's name, to see if it's on here, but not bring any attention to it. But yeah, he's not on here. What I'm saying.
I was going to be like, you should do control fine. I can see if I'll do control.
Oh, wait. Actually, let me see.
But then people will know.
I don't know. Yeah.
You're like, you don't want
to
draw
I'm not
going
to, right? Yeah, I'm not going to draw attention to it, but, if it is on here, but either way, look, the bottom line is, he's being sued. PvP is being sued. I have the legal filing.
Really means nothing. I mean, like, if they're in a public place and they were being catfished, I mean, it's not. How come no one else gets sued for that shit?
Yeah. I don't think it's necessarily going to go anywhere, because also, again, it's in California. One of the causes of action is like defamation, and that's really hard to prove. In the state of California, especially if PvP decides to anti-slap, So here's the filing. Can you see it, Steve?
Hold on.
Fuck. Yeah, so you can see this is it right here, but
Okay, yeah, I see yours. I was downloading it on
All right.
my other screen.
Hold on, I took it down for a sec. Let me do something here real quick, just to kind of fix some things here. Because the
Did
thing
you
is,
go
also,
over
I
it
just
already?
well, the thing is, no, I haven't
Like,
gone over it at all. We're gonna go over it together, Steve, because we did
oh,
this.
okay.
We started this, Steve. We're gonna
Yeah, because I
finish
haven't
it.
gone over it either.
We're gonna finish it, Steve. We started this. We're gonna finish it, man. Um,
Did we ever talk about him on a live stream? I
we
feel
did a
like
couple times,
Crow
but
did.
we
We
did,
did?
yeah. You and I, we did. I think once or twice, but we never got to follow through. I'm just looking over the document one more time to make sure that no private information is shared, because I saw that it showed the guy's place of work, which
Oh, okay.
I went ahead and redacted, because it showed where the guy who's suing him, it showed where he works.
I
So
don't
I
know why
wanted to
that
make
would
sure.
be listed, but
Yeah,
maybe
I
it's
just wanted to
relevant
make
to
sure.
the case.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that that's. So I'm looking at it just one last time to make sure, because we're not trying to put this guy out there either, because he's in the middle of a suit here, and again, regardless of if people believe that he's a pred or not, you know what I mean? Again, we
I
don't
don't know.
know
You're
that for a
just being
fact.
extra cautious, John,
Yeah,
which is very good. I'm not that. I would be very reckless and just be like, all right, let's do it.
yeah.
Um, but maybe this guy, I don't know if it's 46. I don't know if 46 is like a rumor and the guy actually off
That's
himself. We need to look more into it, but I mean, like this was said back in like December 2021. Um, but it was
yeah.
also being tweeted about today as well. If this guy's like a Julius guy, right? And
Mhm.
PvP dude kind of set him up, because I don't think you can catch a pedo every fucking day. You know what I mean? Or at least every week, because he uploads constantly. He's always catching people.
Yeah.
Uh, Eventually, you're going to run dry. It's all in one area too. Like, do they
Yes.
not catch on? It just seems kind of sus. So we thought, remember, we thought he was probably setting some people up, and some of these people probably weren't predators, and then maybe that's one of these guys. Like,
Yeah.
it's like maybe he would actually have grounds for defamation if he misrepresented things, if he initiated the conversation, if he
Well,
didn't say his age.
Well, that's one thing. Remember, Steve, when we are going over the videos, we saw instances where, and we took notes on. Actually, I have my notes right here. Let me look through some. There was some instances where you could see that it seemed like PvP was really fishing to try to paint somebody as a pred, when it probably really what they were doing wasn't actually necessarily predatory behavior. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mm-hmm.
he was trying to it's almost like he was trying to create, you know, these scenarios where these people had to 100% be Preds by kind of misrepresenting the things that they were saying.
Yeah,
um
or like role playing, I think
yes,
was a couple of times they were like, I knew you weren't like actually underage,
exactly.
because you said you weren't underage. And
Yeah,
then PvP isn't very good on his feet, so he'd be like, oh, well,
yeah.
no, you're a predator. So like, I don't know. For some of them, it's very obvious. They're like, yeah, I was looking for kids, and it's like, okay, this guy's a predator. But for a couple of them, like Julius and maybe this dude, it's not so cut and dry.
Yeah, and the thing is, from what I was seeing, like I said, looking through this, um this was filed in Los Angeles, and we know that PvP has driven out of his home base area, which is the San Diego area, and that's not
Well,
me like,
because it's run dry.
yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's not me like. I mean, he pretty much says it in his videos. You know, what I mean, in a lot of his videos that he kind of works out of San Diego. Presumably, that I would assume that's probably his local area, but he has gone out of the San Diego area before in videos. So this was filed in Los Angeles, which I assume this is where this interaction with this person took place in Los Angeles. So because it was
Wasn't he
found, huh?
insinuating a bit that like not homophobia. I think he is homophobic, but what the fuck is it that being gay it coincides with like being a predator? Because
I don't
remember, he'd
know.
always like set up guys, and he'd always be a 14-year-old boy. Never, like, he never set them up as a 14-year-old girl. I think there was like one time it was like
there was
for a
maybe like
girl.
one or two instances where he was pretending to be a girl. But most of the times he was pretending to be boys and stuff, and he was always going on the Grinder app and stuff like that.
Yeah, so he was targeting
uh,
gay people, it seemed like.
Yeah, so this is what was filed. As you can see, the complaints were for defamation per se, false light, which I'm not familiar. What are you familiar with that, Steve? I don't know. Hold on, let me look that up because I don't know what false light.
No.
Is that like? Hold on.
This is page 1.
Yeah. See what that is exactly. Cause of action, California. Okay, let me see. A person can sue for false light when something highly offensive is implied to be true about them, but is actually false. Okay, so it's just another. So
it's
that's
like shown in a false light. I mean, like, that's a pretty old-timey way. I guess, like, it's old-timey law.
Yeah.
Negligence. What negligence could there have been?
Yeah, civil harassment in violation of California Code of Civil Procedure, 527.6, intentional infliction of emotional distress,
Oh,
negligent.
That's weak. Come on. Just throw number 5 out.
Yeah, negligent infliction of emotional distress, declaratory and injunctive relief.
I don't give a fuck about 5 and 6.
Yeah. So those are the causes. Comes out Plymouth. Let me see. As defendants each. Okay. Pursuant to Code of Civil Procedure 395, 395.5 jurisdiction in proper California, because of the harms and obligation alleged herein occurred in judicial district and the amount of plaintiff's damages exceed the jurisdictional minimum of this court, the court has personal jurisdiction over defendants pursuant to Code of Civil Procedure 410. Defendants through their internet postings manifested the intent to target and focus on plaintiff's personal and professional reputation. Therefore, plaintiff was directly impacted and injured by defendants' wrongful actions in Los Angeles County.
I mean, he is doxing people, which I don't think he is allowed to do. That's why I was surprised YouTube kept him around. So is that probably falls under that because he is targeting people, like he's making people look to be bad people and then saying this is their dox. So
yeah, essentially, yeah. Well, yeah, he would say their first. Yeah, he would say their first. Well, remember, we saw that one video where he was straight up like telling people to go contact a guy's son. He's like, contact his son. His son's name is this, that, or the other. Go on his Facebook page and tell him that we're here with his dad. And it's just like, bro, what are you doing? Like, like his son might not know anything at all about this, or maybe his son does know the kind of man his father is and doesn't want to be bothered with it. It's like, why are you telling people to go hit up his son? What the fuck is his son going to do? You know what I mean?
Just wants to humiliate him.
Yeah, it's just like, it's ridiculous. So, and it says, let's see, the court has personal. Okay, so we read that part. Therefore, plaintiff was directly impacted and injured by defendant's wrongful actions. Los Angeles County venue is proper before the court because inter alia defendants reside and or do business in Los Angeles County, and or each of the acts, events, occurrences, or transactions referred to herein occurred in Los Angeles County, and or had the proximate effect of causing damages to plaintiff therein. See, and this is what I suspected, right? Why it was filed in Los Angeles, because he probably met him in Los Angeles and did all this stuff. Because like I said, I believe that he works out of San Diego. Like more than likely, he probably lives out of San Diego, but maybe not. But he has traveled to other cities and stuff before to, expose people, right? To do his catches, so to speak. So this one probably occurred in LA. So here it had approximate effect of causing damages to plaintiff therein. It says plaintiff is at all times mentioned herein was an individual residing or doing business in Los Angeles, California. Defendant is and at times mentioned herein was an individual residing or doing business in Los Angeles, California. The true names of does 1 through 20 inclusive are unknown to plaintiff at this time. Plaintiff sues those does defendants collectively, doe defendants, by such fictitious names pursuant to Code of Civil
True
Procedures.
Names of does 1 to 20 are unknown, but he's suing the does. So does he have? Is that his organization? Because remember, he always says like, I'm part of an organization. So is this the other 20 people of his organization that he's also suing?
I'm guessing that's what it would refer to. That it would refer to other people within, whoever PvP is working with, right? That's what I would assume that means. That it's whoever else is in on this on the ops with him.
Okay.
You know, all including the decoys.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, but that's just catfish accounts. I don't know if those
Yeah.
count because this is the true names of does 1 to 20, which would imply that those are real people and not just burner accounts, right?
Yeah. So let's see.
Interesting.
So pursuant to Code of Civil Procedure 474, or that's what I would come to that conclusion. Plaintiff is informed and believes, and based on that information and belief, alleges that each of the defendants designated as a doe is legally responsible for the events and happenings referred to in this complaint and unlawfully caused the injuries and damages. Plaintiff is informed and believes, and based on that information and belief, alleges that that at all times mentioned in this complaint, defendants were the principals, agents, co-conspirators, and or employees of their co-defendants, and in doing the things alleged in this complaint or acting within the course and scope of such agency and employment. Plaintiff is not a public official, public figure, or limited purpose public figure within the meaning of California Civil Code 45. Okay, so that means
so these are just like the common facts, but that's interesting though. So like there's co-conspirators. So I wonder if it was more elaborate. Like he reached out to some other people and was like, "Hey, have you met up with this guy before? Is he actually of age?" And they're like, "Yeah, he's totally of age." And I said, "Oh, okay, yeah, I got verified it." But those are actually like his employees telling him to lie to this guy so he can like set up the sting to get YouTube views.
What's interesting about this though is I obviously I think this seems pretty thorough on the attorney's part to do it like this because it's in, I guess they're doing this in preparation for anti-slap, you know, in case PVP tries to cite a motion, you know, an anti-slap motion in case he files it.
I really thought he was working alone though. I thought he just said he had an organization. I don't think.
Well, that's what he would say. Well, there was times remember, we did see some videos where he either brought a guy along with him or was in contact with somebody else. You know what I mean? At certain times.
Or at least pretended to be in contact.
Or at least pretended. Yeah. Or at least
most of the time he was pretending to be in contact with the cops.
Yeah, but remember,
people thought he was a cop.
Yeah, but remember there was at least 2 instances where he did bring somebody else along with him on the sting. Remember one time where he brought a guy, and another time where he brought, I think, a girl with him. So
that wasn't that the same one that he cut the video early, and we think he beat
because the guy got up. Yeah, because the guy got up and started approaching him, and that video cut off. So we don't know what happened in that video. But remember, that's the one that got cut off early, where the guy got up and it looked like he was charging him. So, we never found out. We never found out what happened in that one, and it was never, you know, I didn't see any comments to indicate what else happened in it, you know, after the fact. So it says plaintiff is a successful businessman and holds a good reputation in the community. Plaintiff signed up for an online dating website several years ago, which required all members to be over the age of 18 years. On or about February 26, 2022, plaintiff started communicating with an individual on the online dating website. Plaintiff was not soliciting sex from any minor. Plaintiff did not arrange a meeting with any minor or person that he believed to be a minor. Plaintiff was not motivated by any abnormal or unnatural sexual interest in any children. Plaintiff did not intend to expose or have any minor expose his genitals, public or rectal area to engage in lewd or lascivious behavior with any minor at the meeting.
So that's probably fucking when PvP is like, "You said you wanted to do this to a minor," and he's screaming at the top of his lungs in the street.
Yeah, excuse me, everybody. Remember?
Hey, everybody.
Yeah.
So why is the PlayStation guy suing him like this?
Yeah, interesting, right? And or about February 26, 2022, plaintiff confirmed the date with that individual who he had met on the online dating website. On or about February 26, 2022, an individual showed up on plaintiff's property and started flashing a light in his face and recording him without consent. Plaintiff had never met the individual and did not know him. On or about February 26, 2022, plaintiff's video was posted on the following websites: Instagram account, People versus Preds, YouTube account, People versus Preds, Instagram account, at Net Predators. And this has a link, which it's not showing up here, but it has a link to a website. Plaintiff's personal information was listed, and this is the actual link, the direct link to the website that shows the
it's just like People versus Preds Instagram. Let me
yeah. No, this right here is actually the link to the guy's personal information, his docs, essentially, on that website. Where multiple comments were posted, including but not limited to threats of violence, requests from the general public to contact plaintiff's employer to get him fired, and messages to plaintiff stating that he should commit seppuku. Plaintiff had received multiple voicemails from the unknown individual who video recorded him outside of plaintiff's property screaming and threatening to call his employer. Plaintiff's private phone number, email address, and other personal information were posted on these are, again, what you guys don't see here are actually links to the site that contain the guy's personal docs, which also published his relatives' phone numbers and personal information. Defendant's conduct constitutes doxing, which is illegal in this jurisdiction. Defendant posted plaintiff's picture on, and of course, another link to the website stated, Venice, California, a vice president invited a 15-year-old boy over. So obviously that's where the guy works, and I
think the video is still up of his.
Do you want to? Well, I guess we should probably check it out. I don't know if we should check it now or afterwards. I don't know.
It is. It's only 5 minutes long.
Well, we probably shouldn't. Let's not stream it, but if you want to go over it, like.
I'm definitely gonna watch it because.
Watch it real quick. See if
it's catch. I shouldn't even. It's in the.
No, yeah, don't say the number. It's
definitely not 46. It's definitely not 46. It's in the hundreds.
So it's still up. So unfortunately, it's still up. Okay, should have said none, Steve, but it's fine. Whatever.
I should have what?
We won't bring any more attention to it other than that.
Man, there's like almost 200 videos. Good luck finding it. I guess I said it's in the hundreds, so there's half of the fucking work done for you. But like, you're never gonna find it.
Yeah. So yeah, don't specify which it is. So.
I'm just down.
But if you want to watch it real quick, while I continue to read this stuff off here real quick, and tell me if anything is conflicting, I guess, with any of what's in this legal document so far.
Maybe that would be a good idea. I will in a second. I just want to make sure that we have it. For research purposes. Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely download it because it's probably going to disappear. That video, it might disappear.
The whole channel's going to disappear, man.
Yeah.
I'm surprised it's still up.
Yeah, the videos were created and published by defendant, wherein plaintiff was falsely referred to as a pedophile on the internet. The videos were edited by defendant, which in fact their social media accounts have a history of editing videos, photoshopping conversations to cause harm against their victims. Interesting. On or about February 26, 2022, plaintiff's videos were seen by the general public and multiple comics were posted on the above listed websites. Furthermore, the Instagram account, People v. Preds, encouraged its followers to contact plaintiff's employers, family, and friends to disseminate the false statements. Now, this right here, number 28, that is true. He does do that in his videos. He 100% does that in almost every single one of his videos. He will direct people to contact a guy's place of work and family members, because we've seen him do it. Remember, he did it with that one guy, the armless guy, the one-armed guy.
Yeah.
Remember, he's like,
I'm
hey,
surprised that
contact his son on Facebook.
If they're alleging, like this, I'm assuming this is written by a lawyer. If they're alleging that like he photoshopped the conversations, they must have the original conversations. Yeah. Right? Because that'd be a stupid thing to put in a legal document if he did.
I would assume so. I would assume that they got a hold of the lawyers. Well, again, the lawyers are the ones that found out who he was, So they found out who People vs. Preds was, and that's how he ended up getting that's how he ended up getting doxxed, So because somebody on Twitter did end up doxing People v Preds. They put his picture out there. I'm not going to show it. I've already, I think they had tried to send it to me, but those tweets have since been deleted. But they put his face out there. They put pictures of PvP with his family and stuff like that. They put his name out there. Again, not gonna repeat it, even though now it's kind of public information because of this. But just gonna fall in line here. So let's see, where were we at? For the more okay. On or about February 28th, 2022, plaintiff and his family and friends received false, derogatory, and homophobic remarks that stem from the video. Plaintiff's parents started getting messages on their personal mobile numbers and social media accounts, including but not limited to their company accounts, stating their son is a pedophile. On or about February 28th, 2022, plaintiff's employer received multiple phone calls from unknown individuals who encouraged plaintiff's employer to terminate his employment. Defendant has filed multiple false police reports with law enforcement agencies against his victims. That I can, I can't say with any kind of certainty about that, but I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if that were true, because he's gone off of half-cocked information before. We've seen that in the videos, a lot of the videos that we watched, Steve, remember? Where it seemed like he was really trying to manipulate the situation, and where he straight up, remember, the Julius guy was like, he's like, why don't you read the entire messages? He goes, you're reading those messages out of context. Why don't you read the full chat log? I'll wait right here. That was like the only guy that like threw down the gauntlet and was like, why don't you read the full message?
And he was like,
Yeah, and the thing is, nothing, and the interesting thing was, if you guys watch the Julius video, if you watch that video, there was nothing really all that incriminating that was in the Julius video. You know what I mean? There's some stuff that's kind of like, okay, I can see where that might be interpreted as something kind of sketch, but there's nothing like conclusive. At least from what I remember. You remember that? Because I remember there wasn't even anything really all that, I think there was like jokes in it, but there was nothing that was like too like overboard or anything like that.
I'm pretty sure it was like he was calling him out. He's like, I know you're not a minor. If you want to just chill, like, I'm down for that. And if you are one, I'm calling the cops.
Yeah.
And then he was like, I don't know why PvP thought that was a good person to try to set up, but it kind of backfired on him.
It completely, that one completely backfired him, because the guy called this bluff. He's like, all right, call him right now. I'll wait right here with you. I'll wait right here with you. And then we could show, and you can show him the entire messages, because I have all the messages too. And I'll show him. And remember, he kept asking PvP, he's like, why don't you, he's like, see, you're streaming right now. You're doing all this for the clicks and views. Why don't you read the full context of the messages? Why are you like cherry picking? So him filing false police reports, I can see that. You know what I mean? I can see that as being a very real thing. So it says here, defendant's actions have caused plaintiff emotional distress and had a negative impact on his personal and professional relations. Plaintiff has suffered from anxiety and mental anguish as a result of defendant's unreasonable actions. Plaintiff is naturally concerned when he researches his name on the internet and views more false, disparaging, or defamatory comments. Plaintiff has been embarrassed by defendant's comments and compelled to explain them to the general public. Defendant's comments were directed towards plaintiff and posted on social media websites in order to annoy, harass, or intimidate him for no legitimate purpose. Defendant has caused harm towards plaintiff, including but not limited to financial damages and loss of actual and or potential business opportunities. First cause of action, defamation per se, against all defendants. Plaintiff realleges and incorporates by reference the above listed paragraphs as though fully set forth herein. Defendant published defamatory information, including but not limited to the statements referenced above that were viewable to at least one third party. The information published by defendant is false. The information published by defendant is not privileged. The published comments expose plaintiff to hatred, contempt, ridicule, and cause him to be shunned or avoided. and have tendencies to injure plaintiff in his occupation. The published comments were made with the requisite intent by defendant to irreparably harm plaintiff's business, trade, profession, occupation, and reputation. The published comments demonstrate an intent to harm plaintiff and constitute actual malice. The published comment made by defendant have irreparably harmed plaintiff's business, trade, profession, occupation, and reputation. Defendant's comments defamed plaintiff on their face and reflected on plaintiff's characters in a manner that injured plaintiff in his profession. Defendant's unlawful conduct has caused and will continue to cause plaintiff eminent and irreparable injuries for which there is no adequate legal remedy. I'll say.
Yeah.
I'll say. I mean, for forever being painted as a pred, yeah. There's no amount of money that will ever, make that go away. Defendant placed plaintiff's character publicly at issue, so plaintiff is entitled to declaratory judgment. The defendant's statements are false. The nature of defamation is of such a malicious, outrageous, and harmful nature that plaintiff is entitled to an award of exemplary damages to deter defendant and others from similar behavior in the future. Yeah, I'll say, I mean, the defamation is hard, especially in California. So it'll be interesting to see where this goes. What PvP could do is try to file anti-slap, but in order to try to claim my free speech. But free speech, unfortunately, doesn't cover defamation. And if the judge sees, especially after seeing the evidence, if the judge decides that what you said was pretty defamatory, and I'm not going to grant your motion for anti-slap, then it could from there it's going to be like, okay, you're either going to have to settle with this guy or you're going to have to try to fight it out with him in court. Because that's what I don't know if I told you this, Steve, but that's kind of what's happening with the Zero Jisoo thing right now. They're in talks. They're in talks to potentially settle because Jisoo's
thing for
them. Jisoo's anti-slap motion was not granted. She failed on anti-slap. So she either has to come to some kind of, agreeable settlement with Zero, or it's probably going to go, it's going to go to trial, Yeah. So it says plaintiff realleges and incorporates by reference the above listed paragraphs as though fully set forth herein. Defendants have publicized information by posting false or disparaging factual statements on various websites, blogs, or forums, which were viewable to at least one third party. The publicized information clearly identified plaintiff and portrayed him in a false light. The false light that was created by defendant's publication was highly offensive to a reasonable person in plaintiff's position. Defendants knew the publications would create a false impression that plaintiff and acted with actual malice or reckless disregard for the truth. I think we've seen instances of that with PvP for sure, right? Alternatively, defendants were negligent in determining the truth created by their publications. Plaintiff has sustained harm to his business, profession, and occupation. Moreover, defendant's conduct was a substantial factor in causing plaintiff's harm. Third cause of action, negligence against all defendants. Plaintiff alleges and incorporates by reference the above listed paragraphs as though fully set forth herein. Defendant had a duty towards plaintiff to use reasonable care. Defendant breached the duty by engaging in the acts described herein. Defendant failed to use reasonable care to prevent harm. Defendant's breach of duty has caused plaintiff's injuries. Defendant intentionally distributed the online comments and shared them with third parties. Defendant posted the false comments on social media websites to retaliate against plaintiff and to cause the loss of existing and or prospective business opportunities. Defendant's actions were the proximate or legal cause of the resulting injuries which were foreseeable. Defendant knew or should have known defendant's conduct will cause harm. Defendant was negligent by acting or by failing to act in a reasonable manner. Defendant was negligent because defendant engaged in acts that reasonable, prudent persons in the same or similar situation would not engage in, or defendant failed to act as a reasonable, prudent person in the same or similar situation.
But you had to make the YouTube money, dog.
Yeah, he had to get those donos, all that. Well, I don't think his channel is monetized, but I know that he gets donations. I know that for sure because remember, we saw
Well, they'd
plenty
have
of
to be monetized then.
Yeah, well, you remember there was plenty of instances where we saw him, thanking people for the donations. You know what I mean? So he was at least posting, and he posts his Cash App link, and I believe his PayPal link are all in the description of each one of his videos. So, I believe it's PayPal. I know for sure Cash App. Defendant was okay. Let me see. Defendant's actions are in violation of Civil Code 174A and Code of Civil Procedure 527.6. Plaintiff realleges so this is fourth cause of action: civil harassment in violation of California Code of Civil Procedure. So this one says plaintiff realleges and incorporates by reference the above listed paragraphs as though fully set forth herein. Defendant's wrongful conduct, though not threatening violence, nevertheless was a knowing and willful discourse of conduct directed at a specific person that seriously alarms, annoys, or harasses the person and serves no legitimate purpose, thus constituting civil harassment under CCP 527.6b, as well as a misdemeanor crime under Penal Code 653M and 653.2. The course of conduct was such as it would cause a reasonable person to suffer substantial emotional distress, and did actually cause substantial emotional distress to the plaintiff as required by CCP 527.6b. I think we went over California laws before on a previous stream where we talked about that, where some of the stuff that he was saying out to some of these people publicly could potentially get him in trouble due to California Penal Code. Although I didn't know how it applied, but it seems like, I guess maybe some of it does apply. I mean, I'm not a lawyer, so and I said it then, I didn't know how it applied to instances, but I guess they're going to use some of those to go after him. So let me see, because I think one of them was one of the penal codes, if you remember, Steve, was like saying something to somebody publicly that could cause them to either harm themselves or someone else.
I think,
something, it was something along those lines. I can't remember exactly what it was. We covered it on a previous stream.
It's like instigating violence at that point, right?
Yeah, essentially, like something that could. Oh, yeah, that's what it was. Something that could cause something that you're saying about somebody publicly that could cause harm to come to them as a result, which I believe could possibly constitute in this instance, because he was saying stuff about somebody publicly that could potentially incite violence against them. I mean, you're sitting there basically pointing out to a guy in public and saying, "Hey, this guy's coming to meet little boys to mess with them." You know what I mean?
He even tells some of the people that he was quote unquote catching, is because people walk by, bystanders, and they'd be like, "You think this guy, if this was this guy's kid, you don't think he would beat you up? Like, don't even worry about the cops. We would kill you out here." Like, he's told people that before directly,
Yeah.
so he knows what he's doing.
Exactly, and that's what I'm saying. So I'm wondering if that's, if some of those are the penal codes that apply to this as well, because I thought that might be one that could apply to it, because you're literally saying like, "Hey, this guy's a pedo," and what if somebody beats his ass because you said that? Like, we saw instances where he's like, "Oh, but don't beat his ass, don't beat his ass." But the thing is, what if one of those guys doesn't fucking listen to you and just beats his ass anyways? You know what I mean? Then you might be on the hook, because that's going to be on you. So let me see. Defendant's wrongful conduct, though not threatening violence. Okay, let's see. Where were we at? Mr. Okay, yeah, here we go. The course of conduct was such that would cause a person several. Okay, yeah, we went over that. Plaintiff did suffer from severe emotional distress as a direct consequence of defendant's harassment. As a direct and proximate consequence of defendant's harassment, plaintiff has been generally, specially, and consequentially damaged in the amount to be established according to evidence. Under CCP 527.6S, plaintiff is entitled to an award of court costs and attorney's fees that are incurred to prosecute a legal action. The civil harassment was committed willfully and intentionally and by means of oppression, fraud, and malice, and in conscious disregard of plaintiff's rights. Plaintiff is entitled to an award or punitive damages under Civil Code 3294 in an amount to be established at a trial to meaningfully punish defendant and to thereby deter similar conduct in the future. Punitive damages are especially appropriate in this case because of defendant's past pattern of oppressive and harassing conduct. Defendant's harassment alleged herein, unless enjoined by a preliminary injunction order and a permanent injunction judgment of this honorable court, or in this alternative statutory temporary restraining order, and 3-year injunction under CCP 527.6 will continue to cause great and irreparable injury. Plaintiff has no adequate remedy at law for the injuries currently being suffered from and is threatened to be suffered from defendant's illegal conduct. Fifth cause of action, intentional infliction of emotional distress against all defendants. You know what I'm wondering now, Steve? And we're just to pause for a moment here, because I saw some of the other legal filings. I think that PvP responded, because the thing is, once a suit gets filed, you have to respond.
Yeah,
because if you don't respond,
Dean had to respond, right?
yeah. Because if you don't respond, then you're gonna have a summary judgment against you.
Right? It's my Second Amendment right to call people pedos.
Yeah. If you don't respond, then you'll get a summary judgment against you, which I don't believe, at least from what I saw, has happened yet. With him, it seems like he has responded. So we'll probably, this is just the initial filing, the complaint filing. We'll be going over some of the other ones. But yeah, this is I did say this before, that he could potentially get in some trouble, some legal trouble. So I'm not saying that this is just a lawsuit, though. This is a civil suit being filed against him. So this, honestly, it could be dismissed. If PvP decides to go the route,
actually a pedo,
if it could be dismissed, or if PvP decides, which honestly the best course of action is always to go with anti-slap, with an anti-slap motion. But I don't know, man. The thing is, the way that PvP recklessly goes out at this stuff, I don't know if he'll be granted an anti-slap. Maybe it's possible, but I don't know. He says some pretty outrageous stuff. And again, I'm sure that with a lot of the people that he's confronted in many of those instances, it's probably been true. But we've also seen instances where it seems like he kind of fabricated these scenarios a little bit with certain people. So plaintiff realleges and incorporates by reference the above listed paragraphs as though fully set forth herein. A defendant has posted unnecessary online comments with an intent to annoy plaintiff. The intent of the online comments was to intimidate, annoy, or frighten plaintiff to prevent him from conducting his personal and professional life. Defendant's extreme and outrageous conduct was intentionally and maliciously committed with the intent to deliberately inflict humiliation, mental anguish, and emotional and physical distress upon plaintiff, and done in wanton and reckless disregard of such consequences. Yeah, I would say that's true, right? We've seen him do that.
Yep.
He does that with everybody he confronts. So, as a direct and proximate result of the extreme and outrageous conduct by defendant, plaintiff suffered humiliation, mental anguish, and emotional and physical distress, and has been injured in health, strength, and activity, sustaining injury to the nervous system, all of which have caused and will continue to cause great mental and physical pain and suffering. That's interesting.
Nervous system, huh?
So I'm wondering if he has, like, if they're gonna like bring medical records to back any of that up. You know what I mean? Can you imagine?
He's like a stretch.
Yeah, like he caused this guy to have some kind of nervous breakdown that caused some kind of shock to his system or something. As a result of severe emotional distress, plaintiff has been generally, especially and consequentially damaged in an amount to be established according to evidence. Defendant committed the infliction of emotional distress willfully and intentionally and by means of oppression, fraud, and malice, in a conscious disregard of plaintiff's rights. Plaintiff is entitled to an award of punitive damages under California Code 3294 in an amount to be established at trial to meaningfully punish defendant and thereby deter similar conduct in the future. We're going to see a lot of the same repeated language in some of these causes of action. So, in fact, punitive damages are especially appropriate in this case because of defendant's past pattern of oppressive and harassing conduct. So, you know what that means, Steve? That means the lawyers are going to pull up all them videos as evidence and show, look at what he does to people.
It's a pattern of behavior. It's not a one-off. It's not a misunderstanding. He is the one orchestrating all of this. Yeah.
Yeah. Look at all the shit he's doing. Look at how he approaches these people. Look at how he constantly harasses and does and throws these allegations around. Look at how he entraps these people. So plaintiff realleges, okay, so 6 cause of action: negligent infliction of emotional distress against all defendants. Plaintiff realleges and incorporates by reference the above listed paragraphs as though fully set forth herein. Defendant, as at relevant times, owed plaintiff various duties of care, including but not limited to those reasonable necessary to avoid inflicting humiliation, mental anguish, and emotional and physical distress. Defendant knew or should have known that the failure to exercise such due care would cause plaintiff to suffer humiliation, mental anguish, and emotional and physical distress. Oh, he knew. He doesn't give a shit. His whole thing is essentially name and shame. You know, that's basically what he does. You know, he goes out, he confronts people, and he sits there. That's one of the other things too that we've talked about before, Steve, is that majority of the stuff that's in his like live streams, his videos, is never really productive. It's just him, which again, I'm not saying that he owes any of these guys any kind of charity if they're there to do what he's accusing them of doing, right? If they're there for that, if they're actually there for that, then it's not like they deserve to be handled with kid gloves or to be treated nicely. But it's like, okay, there's instances where he'll say stuff like, help me understand, or he'll even say that he wants to get people help. And it's just like, but you're not doing anything. You know what I mean? It's just like, so why even lie about that? You're not really there to help them. You know that it's good for your channel. It's good for your growth. You know what I mean? It's, it gets you views, at least be honest about that. And that's your main motivating factor is that it's really just a name and shame more than anything else. Because if you really cared about getting justice, you would go through the proper legal channels to do things the right way. Like the one guy you were telling me about, who's the guy you're always telling me about, that you're always telling me about, that has like a legit organization that actually like does things by the book. I think you said he's based out of Canada.
At least he tries to. Justin Payne. I don't know if he has an organization. He's like a one-man show, I'm pretty sure too. He has like a cameraman, but he's by the book, I'm pretty sure. He tries to get everyone help and rehabilitated, but he definitely he catches people and definitely gathers a fuckload of evidence on them, not just like one chat that you can't prove. He has like tons of phone calls, tons of messages, video chats, anything you can think of. And he's like a voice actor, so he pretends to be a kid. So they say like a kid voice. Yeah. So you actually like, they are fully aware that this isn't like People versus Preds where you don't know if it's a pedo or not. Like these are actual pedos for sure.
I sent you the link, Louis. I sent you the link. You got the link. Yeah, that's the guy you were telling me about. And that's what I mean, though. It's just like, it seems like he has, his intentions are to actually try to affect some kind of, it seems a lot more productive. He's trying to do something that's a lot more productive. Like one of the issues that I have with a lot of these channel, or at least the ones that I've seen, because I don't really tend to seek them out and watch them, but at least the ones that I've seen, is that they don't really want to do anything productive or constructive. You know what I mean? It's like they just want to do really outrageous stuff. I mean, look at the Predator Poacher guys, right? They were like wanting to like, oh, if you box me, I'll let you go. It's just like, what? It's like,
Yeah.
what is this all about? It's just like, like box me and I'll let you leave. Like fight your way out. Like what? You know what I mean? And what was another? I think in another instance, they actually did bring like a minor with them, and it's just like, what are you guys doing? He's crazy. It's just
that was predator poachers, right?
yeah, predator poachers, man. It's just like, what the hell are you guys doing, man? You guys fucking crazy? It's just like, how is this gonna help anything? It's just like, what would have happened if the guy that you went to go meet with the minor, with an actual minor, had a gun or something, because he might have anticipated shit going sideways and was like, oh, I'm just gonna end it all, and everybody gets shot up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, dude. So let's see. I think we're on 89, right? Defendant knew or should have known that the failure to exercise such due care would cause plaintiffs to suffer humiliation, mental anguish, emotional, physical distress. Defendant breached the duty of care towards plaintiff by committing the extreme and outrageous acts and omissions alleged herein, and did so with reckless disregard for the probability of causing emotional distress. As a direct and proximate result of such breaches constituting negligence, plaintiff suffered humiliation, mental anguish, and emotional and physical distress, and has been hurt and injured in health, strength, and activity, sustaining injury to the nervous system, all of which have caused and will continue to cause great mental and physical pain and suffering. As a result of such severe emotional distress, plaintiff has been generally, specially, and consequentially damaged in an amount to be established according to evidence. So, seventh cause of action, I think this is the last one: declaratory and injunctive relief against all defendants. Plaintiff realleges and incorporates by reference the above listed paragraphs as though fully set forth herein. The ongoing nature and damage resulting from the defamatory post is of such a nature that plaintiff is without an adequate legal remedy at law. Plaintiff has suffered and will continue to suffer irreparable harm as a result of defendant's acts as described here and above. Therefore, unless enjoined by the honorable court, defendant will continue to cause irreparable harm. I mean, I can't dispute that, right, Steve? I mean, because could you imagine if somebody else decides to sum, or if that, like you said, the whole thing with the one guy who like offed himself, right?
Yeah.
Could you imagine if that guy was like completely innocent of everything that was being,
accused,
everything he was being accused of, yeah. And he just ended up like offing himself because, like, oh my God, I'll never recover from this because these allegations, this kind of stuff doesn't go away. They follow you forever.
Yeah.
So it says, at this time, an actual controversy has arisen and now exists between plaintiff and defendant concerning their respective rights and responsibilities. A judicial declaration is necessary and appropriate so that the parties may ascertain their rights and responsibilities under the applicable laws. Defendants' wrongful acts are continuing and have caused and are causing irreparable damages. Unless plaintiff obtains declaratory relief from this honorable court and or such conduct by defendant is preliminarily and permanently enjoined, plaintiff will continue to suffer irreparable damages, which will necessitate filing multiple and or successive lawsuits. Plaintiff is entitled to injunctive relief pursuant to the applicable laws. Plaintiff is entitled to a permanent injunction against defendant to force removal and retraction all comments and to enjoin defendant from creating and publishing further false or disparaging comments. And from what we've seen, none of that stuff has come down regarding this guy, not even his video, not even his Sting video. So,
nope. So he did blur the address. When I watched the video, he blurred the address because I guess he's getting shit for it. I was looking into this guy's lawyer and like the dude who's suing people for Preds, and he's won defamation cases before, defamation, civil harassment.
And
got a verdict for over $1 million. So I think he knows what he's doing.
So that might be his area of expertise, because there's certain lawyers that handle certain parts of the of the law and stuff very well. It's like their forte. So if defamation is this guy's forte, that
I think people versus Preds is in a little bit of hot water.
Yeah,
I mean, remember when Boogie had his his divorce lawyer and he still won? This guy actually has like a capable, competent lawyer, it looks like. If
yeah,
he's innocent.
that specializes in defamation.
Defamation and civil harassment, yeah.
Wow. Wherefore, plaintiff prays for judgment against defendants as follows: for monetary damages in excess of jurisdictional amount or according to proof, for compensatory general and monetary damages, past, present, and future, in an amount to be fully compensate plaintiff within the jurisdictional limits of this court, according to proof, for punitive and exemplary damages as appropriate, according to proof, for attorney's fees and costs as appropriate, according to proof, for incidental and or consequential damages as appropriate, past, present, and future, according to proof, for prejudgment and post-judgment interest, for applicable statutory damages past, present, and future according to proof, for applicable special damages past, present, and future according to proof, for applicable economic damages past, present, and future according to proof, for declaratory relief and or preliminary and permanent injunction prohibiting the conduct and activities alleged herein, and for such other and further relief as the court deems just and equitable and conforming to proof at the time of trial. Demand for jury trial.
John, we
Plaintiff
got
here.
People versus Predators exposed in your chat. He's saying he's been researching him for 10 months and has all the documents. Is it the same one as like on the Twitter? If it is, you should DM me. I'd be interested in seeing anything.
Yeah, I think I saw that guy on YouTube. If you want to hit up Steve with any information, feel free. Feel free. So I'm going to continue here though. So demand for jury trial. Plaintiff hereby demands a trial by jury of his peers in to the fullest extent allowed by law. And then you can see the date here. Here's the attorney. Don't want to show that. The undersigned certified and declared that I am the plaintiff in this matter. I have read the foregoing complaint and know and understand its contents thereof, and the matters stated herein are true of my own knowledge and belief, except as to those matters alleged and or stated on my information and belief as to those matters I believe them to be true. I declare under penalty of perjury pursuant to the laws of the state of California that the foregoing is true and correct. Executed April 25th, 2022, Los Angeles, California. So that's the legal filing. There has been more since, which we'll go over on another stream. But yeah, it appears People versus Preds is being sued. Now, whether or not that'll go through, there's no way to know because courts can decide either way. If this lawyer's as good as at least what's being said online, then this guy might actually have a case against People versus Preds. And remember, we looked over we've looked over other court filings and stuff before, and we've seen things turn out all sorts of different ways. We saw that with the Jisoo, specifically the Jisoo case, her anti-slap motion was not granted. So it's either
you're not allowed to just call people pedos, and it's not your freedom of speech to do
yeah,
so.
no, you don't get to defame people. That's not covered under freedom of speech, unfortunately. Hey, what's up, man?
That's a perfect avatar name for that.
It falls under freedom of speech upon further investigation under my Second Amendment right.
My Second Amendment right.
So here's the thing. Exactly. Defamation is not covered. And the thing is, his best bet, if he even has the money to hire a lawyer and fight this, is to try to do anti-slap. But this guy's lawyer seems to be pretty thorough. At least at first glance. Again, that doesn't necessarily mean that they'll get past anti-slap, but I guess we'll see. I mean, but it doesn't look like it with what's on the surface, and especially PvP puts all his videos out there. He has everything. I'm pretty sure the lawyers have everything, right? I think it'd be pretty safe to assume that they have all the videos downloaded and all that shit.
we're not soft. Like, we're not gonna feel sympathy for pedos
Oh, no, I
or
don't.
anything, right?
Not at
And
all.
even we were like, this guy is kind of fucking crazy. Like,
Well,
even
his
we were saying
approach.
that before.
It's his approach.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, Aura? His approach.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Look, it's not anything like we're not sympathizing for any of the guys that he's busted. Oh, poor guys for being busted. Our criticism of him has always been the way he handles these situations.
Well,
You know what I mean? I don't
People
care.
are innocent. If like
Yeah.
50% are innocent, then
Yeah,
like
exactly.
those poor
Yeah.
guys. It's hard to
Like, I don't care. I don't care that he berates them. I don't care that he berates them or talks mean to them or anything like that. My thing is just like, well, why don't you go through the proper channels? Why don't you just file police reports? You know what I'm saying? And then if you feel the police at that point aren't doing aren't doing their job, then maybe you could do a confrontation if these people are still out there with their shenanigans. But
Well, you don't have to publicly go out there and label somebody that you have like very what is it?
limited
Finite
communication
evidence.
with.
You know, like, you know,
he's
yeah,
catching
with
people
some-
every day.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, and then not have one like
What does
police.
that mean? What does that mean?
Well-
Number 46 shot himself while live streaming.
That's the number he does. That's what he numbers the people he catches.
Yeah. I mean,
So,
I would
yeah,
have to.
apparently-
I mean, I'd have to see proof of that. Not obviously not the
Yeah.
actual stream. Not the actual stream. I don't want to
Yeah,
see
You
the
can show
actual
me the
video.
actual stream.
Yeah.
I would-
Yeah,
I would need to
Steve's
see-
hard like that. He's hardcore.
No, I
He'll take
wouldn't
it.
want to see
I would
the
do it
actual
too.
stream.
That's why Steve
What
and
I-
I used to stream together.
What I would want to see, is some kind of police or incident report regarding that to confirm that, or some kind of
Ooh,
news report.
There would be one, wouldn't there?
Yeah.
Be?
What about the archive of his video?
The archive of
Um,
number 46.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we mean. I want to see like there has to be a link, right?
Well, there's got to be an archive. I think it's taken down now. I don't think he took it down. I think it was forcibly taken down.
Yeah, I would want to see like some kind of police report on it. Because
Police report
there has to
would
be-
good.
yeah,
Um,
that would be enough for me. Like I don't have to. Obviously, I don't want to see a video of some guy blowing his brains out.
I don't think it's like what you're thinking. Though. It's just like you could
Yeah.
at least see if it exists and stuff. That's it.
No, that's apparently what happened, Aura. And like he's small
PvP
potatoes, especially back then, right? So no one was archiving his stuff.
PvP.
Well, people.
So
Go ahead.
PvP Exposed says Encinitas police have the report.
Okay.
Encinitas,
let's
California,
break
he
that
says.
down.
He
Yeah.
said he gave the date too. He gave the date, Steve. Can you see it there?
Okay.
So maybe we
yeah.
can try, combing.
We could find it.
trying to
Well,
find
yeah,
it.
we can find it.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. I got it. This is
No,
so
it's
too many things
people
to
didn't
do, but
expect him to
yes.
stay around. I remember Mudahar covered him and is like, I just expect YouTube to take his shit down because he's
Yeah.
doxing a fuck ton of people, like in every video. I remember that, and he never got taken down for that at all. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Which is weird.
Yeah, that is weird. What the fuck?
Yeah, it was nuts.
well,
But,
Like he's hardcore doxing. It's not like Quantum TV doxing, right? Like
well,
hard-
some
mean-
of them by proxy.
Dude.
Some of
Dude, remember
Slug
we
dogs.
saw a video where he straight up, dude, he wasn't, bro. One of the guys that he confronted, he was like, "Hey guys, hit up his son. His son's name
Yes.
is this.
yes, he
Hit him
doxed
up on
his son for
Facebook
no
and tell
reason.
him what his dad's doing." It's like, why are you doxing his son?
But it's
Why are
not
you
just
telling people
yeah.
to contact his son?
Yeah, it's a couple people too. I think he did that too. Or he'll show like the vehicles that they're driving, the license plate numbers, their apartment numbers, shit like that. Like,
when he
Every-
did that, I'll be fair and say that I think he was just being stupid. I don't think he was actually being intentionally malicious.
No,
I mean-
Zen, he was. He's like he told
Yeah.
people to go harass.
Yeah, but
these
I don't think
people.
he
It wasn't
thought
like-
ahead, like to say, "Oh, they're gonna harass the son." I think he was just like he had a brain. for
No,
being an idiot.
He told the people
was
to harass the
he was
son.
telling
He
people
What?
this is
told
his
people-
son's
yes.
Facebook. Go tell his son
Yeah,
that
what
his
his
dad
dad
is
is
doing.
being caught, and
Yeah.
send him this stream. I want him
Yeah,
to
but-
know. And
and his chat would go fucking crazy. Like, you know,
Yeah.
like
Listen,
he-
guys.
yeah, bro,
upon
he's-
further investigation, I might
shut the fuck up. Like a Stu correcting the record.
correcting the record. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah, he
Yeah.
was straight up. Yeah, he was straight up sending people to go and talk to people's family members and stuff. And it's just like, dude, don't do that. It's just like, because the thing is, they might not know, or worse, they might know, and they're just like, they want to have nothing to do with this person, and you're sitting there sending this shit their way, and it's just like, what do you expect his son to do? You know what I mean?
John, I gotta go, but when you're done, read your messages I sent you, and then just message me back.
Yeah.
All right,
That's
bye.
fine. Appreciate you coming on.
See
Yep,
ya.
yep. All right, bye. Adios.
Yeah, we'll probably. Well, I guess we should talk to this People Be Preds exposed guy, Steve. If you want to get into DMs with him, and People Be
His
Preds,
DMs aren't open. He has to DM me.
you have to hit up Steve. It's the same
the
as his
Live.
name here. It's
Yeah.
at Steve.
Steve the
D
live,
Live.
one word.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
got my
all
account
one
back.
word on
Elon
Twitter.
Musk is my savior, but
DM
also
him.
my downfall at the same time because he doesn't
Yeah.
care about dogs. So,
DM him, and we could. And if you got Discord, also we can maybe confer and see. Because if you got info,
reach out.
but yeah, reach out to Steve, and we can because we were
Get
looking
on a
into
group call or something and do
we were
mischievous
yeah
things.
exactly. We're combing over a lot of his videos and stuff because again, look, I'm not inherently against people trying to do public service, you know what I mean, for the greater good of their communities. But I think that there needs to be, I think there's a proper way to do it. And one of the things that I take issue with like people like this vigilantes, especially, is just like you might be causing a lot more harm than good in your communities by the way you're handling things. So that's always been like the thing with PvP. It's just like, dude, I don't see anything you're doing as being productive. Like I said, the guy that Steve mentioned earlier, the Justin Payne guy, that sounds productive and constructive to me. It's just like, because he's like trying to get people help. He's actually being thorough with what he's doing. And there was some other guy, I believe, that was running like a Facebook group that was exposing Preds as well. If you remember, Steve, that we had talked about before, that actually does have like a legitimate 501c3 that handles these types of situations and works with the police. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
He
I
doesn't
can't
just go out
remember
there. Yeah, I forget
what
his
that
name.
dude's name was.
Yeah, I forget what his name was, but he actually works with the police. Like he doesn't go out there all cavalier and tries to confront people by himself. He actually works in tandem with the police and isn't reckless. Just go out there with a freaking GoPro and it's just like, hey, scumbag, blah, 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 this, that, or the other, and then just berate somebody. It's just like, because that's all it is. What ends up being is it's just 2 hours of him berating people. I'm like, okay. And then he's just like, talk to me or I'll call the cops. It's just like, but you're not talking to them. All you're doing is just berating them, which again, I don't feel sympathy for him berating them. It's just a waste of time. It's just like, it's just an absolute waste of time. It's like, dude, just fucking call the cops. I would rather see you call the cops.
Any interrogator will tell you that's not how you get information out of a person. If you're actually trying to lead to an arrest or something productive and not make the criminal smarter, so he knows how to do this, if he's actually doing this shit, he knows how to do it better next time. You don't put people on edge like that. You need to almost kind of make them think you're on their side so you can get information out of them.
Yeah.
Like, imagine if everyone just talked like how Mr. Girl talked. It's like, yeah, I like kids.
Jesus.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it would be so easy to get information out of people, but no, you have to actually like talk to people.
Steve
Oh,
Live.
He's
I
not a
think
good
he-
interrogator.
PvP exposed said that he followed you on Twitter, Steve.
Oh shit.
So he
Okay.
said, can you DM him?
The
So,
Steve-
No, and that's what I mean. It's just like I said, I'm not inherently against what, the spirit, I guess, of what PvP thinks he's trying to do, right? But the thing is, it's just him and a lot of these other channels, they just go about it all wrong. They go about it all wrong, and it's just like, dude, these people are still going to go free. If anything, you're giving them you're giving them pretty much the don't do this next time. You know what I mean? Like kind of like, okay, now I know what not to do next time. Yeah.
Like a warning ahead of time.
Yeah, in order to not get caught. So it's like, again, I don't see any kind of altruistic intentions behind what he's doing, even though he tries to save. I mean, maybe he's convinced himself, but it's kind of hard to see when it's just like, when a lot of it is just a waste of time. It's just like, dude, this isn't just, bro, just go to the police first, dude. Just, set up a legitimate organization, a legitimate 501c3, work with the police, bro. Set up actual sting operations.
Yeah.
So,
He didn't,
I heard-
he
yeah,
didn't follow me. I have to go follow him. I gotta find him.
All right, I guess Steve will find you, but we'll go ahead and let's
It's
go
the
ahead.
Noodle Poodles one. Oh wait, why
you
didn't
found
it
it?
notify me? I think your account's probably getting flagged by Twitter because it didn't notify me.
No.
And then I can DM you.
Get them on
Yeah.
Discord, Steve.
So I would look at him more as I don't know. I mean, the guy says he's out there trying to do stuff for his community, and again, maybe that's what he's convinced himself of, but I don't know.
I hate when Twitter does that.
Yeah.
Just tell me
Wait, go
when
to
I-
police if you have a serious issue.
Well, that's a foreign concept, John. Who does that?
Who does that? Yeah, exactly.
Who does that?
But I think we'll wrap it here though,
So-
because we went over that. But I want to go over more of the filings on a future stream, because there is a couple other ones. There is definitely.
In regard, like his counter.
I'll show you.
filing?
I'll show you when we go off, Steve. I'm going to show you. Yeah, because there has been more recent filings. I just got the initial complaint, the initial filing of the suit. But there's been more. There's been more filings. There's been some as recent, I believe, as this month. I think I have to look over the case number again. But yeah, there's the shit going
We're
down,
gonna have
man.
to keep tabs on this.
Yeah, we're gonna have
Life's
to.
about to get really busy.
No, really?
So okay, so yeah, there's been so PvP himself did the last filing from what I could see here. He responded this month,
Gas.
about a week or two ago. So he has responded. So we'll go over his response on the next stream. We'll go over PvP's response to the suit.
People versus predators. Where did he
Yep.
respond?
Just responding to the suit. Because when somebody files a lawsuit, you have X amount of time to respond to it. If you don't respond within that time frame, then there'll be a summary judgment against you.
Yeah.
So I believe as of now, the only thing that PvP has done is file his response to the suit. So I'll be going over those documents though. Yeah, the answer is essentially the response. So to the suit. So yeah, we'll go over that on the next stream though. But I'll have to redact the information, all that. But yeah, he probably went to a case management conference as well. That's the CMC is something that they do to decide where to go from there. Let me see. Or did he respond before that? Hold on, let me see. I'm trying to see if there was a response before that. Oh no, there was a case management conference before that. Hold on, I didn't see this. So he went to that in May. So I'll have to look over that. We went over Jisoo's case management conference. That's the last thing we went over with her case. So maybe we'll do that and we'll do his answer to that. So I guess he filed an answer to that. That'll be interesting. But we'll go ahead and wrap it here.
Jisoo guest going? The case, John.
No updates. No updates there. No updates there. Just the CMC.
Yeah.
That's it. Supposedly there's going to be an update though in July. From my understanding, they have another hearing set, I believe, for July. So once that happens, I'll go over that. But
Dope.
now,
Wait, what the fuck? Modern Warfare 2 is on pre-order now? What?
Yeah, they're gonna have the beta out soon.
When's it going out, Steve?
that'd be interesting. We'll see.
It
We'll see
should
what
be,
happens. then.
actually
get it.
really
We'll
soon.
go ahead. We'll go ahead and wrap it here.
You should get
like I
it
said,
and play with us.
PV Preds exposed. Like I said, get in contact with Steve. Devin, thank you. You are the stream mommy. Appreciate you. Appreciate everyone joining tonight. This was kind of impromptu. Got to thank Aura, because Aura is the one that brought all this to my attention, because I wasn't on Twitter at all. I didn't go on Twitter at all today. So he's the one that brought it all to my attention. So shout out to Aura again for all this. But yeah, I appreciate you all joining me. We'll go over, we'll do a follow-up stream though, going over some more of the filings. So till then, you all have a fantastic night. Appreciate each and every one of you, and I'll catch you all on the next stream. Have a good one.
Adios.
Bye.